good evening, morning, afternoon, whenever you're watching this, love. Cheers to you for being awesome, for existing. All right, so this is episode 5 of Cacao with Karla, me. And so every week I'm going to be coming here, Facebook, YouTube, all the places, Instagram. I'm still figuring that part out. To talk about shadow integration, or more commonly known as shadow work, and all the ways that you can make the process easier, reclaim your personal power from loops of trauma, all of those things. So I'm just gonna take a quick sip here. And if you're watching, voyeur you, feel free to drop a comment below, say hi, let me know where you're listening from, or what you're doing right now. So orgasmic shadow work, right? So I have been kind of in this very interesting vortex lately, thinking about the ways that shadow work is currently talked about in other spaces, like what other people are doing, kind of clarifying more what I've been doing in my own practice so that I can share more and incorporate that more into the work that I do with my clients. So one of the things that I've noticed is that sometimes when you're newer to shadow work, or just the way that it's talked about in some other spaces, there's this big emphasis on the crying, the journaling, like the sitting with yourself and being able to be with yourself and be okay with that. Being able to sit with the uncomfortable sensations, being able to not run away, basically, not go into one of your coping mechanisms, fight, flight, or freeze, when faced with some of these shadows. So working definition of shadow work. Shadow work is the process of making the unconscious conscious. As Carl Jung says, if you don't make the unconscious conscious, it'll rule your life and you'll call it fate. When I heard that saying the first time, it just really just made things click for me. So again, for going back to like my working definition of what shadow work is, and what I like to call shadow integration, and taking the work out of it and making it more about becoming whole, is that you're consciously showing, giving space for, showing compassion for, healing and integrating parts of yourself that have been fragmented off from trauma loops, parts of you that have been suppressed, that have been disowned consciously by you because of trauma, because of being rejected by other people growing up. All of these little pieces of ourselves that get splintered off and broken off and toned down in order to be, an adult, or to be, or good. I don't know how many of you guys have like the good girl programming. I had that a lot. I've been spending a lot of years overcoming my good girl programming to really be able to take up space, to be louder, to do whatever the fuck I want, to own my desires, to own my ability and my own power to make what I want available to myself. So that is where the orgasm part comes in. So my approach to shadow work and my approach to life in general, holistically speaking, is that I've made this practice and this game out of seeing how much sensation I can hold. So how ticked off or angry can I get about something and not tune out from it? What is that threshold, and like what happens after I stay past my normal threshold of being able to hold sensation in my body? Because, even speaking on the good or the fun side of things in my own sex life, in sex with other people, in sex with myself, I found that I would often run away from my orgasms before, there'd be this threshold of like sensation that almost felt like it hurt. Not that I had like anything, like any disorders or anything like that, or like any sort of other things that would cause physical pain, but like the pleasure was so big and everything was so big that I just literally thought I might die, or I don't know, just like have so much pleasure that my brain blows a fuse, and like I'm just like stuck in, I don't know, being like a vegetable for the rest of my life because my orgasm was so great. So after I saw this pattern over and over again with different partners and all these other things, I was like, okay, I'm running away from pain in my life to the same extent that I'm running away from pleasure in my life. What is it that I can do to expand my level of being able to have more sensation, to be able to stay present with everything that's happening in my life, so I'm not just spending my entire life running away, right? So also, when I talk about orgasm, I'm not strictly talking about, oh my gosh, I'm coming, I'm having an orgasm. I mean the ability to follow your sensations, the ability to feel something and to notice what's happening in your body, where you feel it, what it feels like. This, you know, is it cold, hot, electric? You know, what are the ways that you like really like feel everything, the good stuff and the bad stuff, and like taking duality out of it, taking the judgments away from it, you know, not good or bad, but just like sensation as sensation. Excitement and fear look exactly the same or very similar in the brain when people do, you know, scientists do brain scans of people experiencing different sensations. So to take this ability to literally be able to, what am I trying to say? To literally be able to transcend duality. And that might sound really big and really fucking out there. And what I invite you to consider is that you literally can create this blissful, orgasmic world and life, and bring your orgasm, like not just thinking about the genitals, but like the entire body, the entire being, your spirit, your bones, everything. Like I can have an orgasm in my fucking elbow. Like if I, you know, something really intense happens to me, I'm able to, you know, let myself have my feelings about it. Like this is not about spiritual bypassing in any way. This is about owning that, like, as long as I'm alive, something right is happening. As long as I'm alive, and as long as I can feel, and as long as I cannot run away from myself in these sensations, the more I run away from a sensation, the more I'm running away from myself. And as less I can run away and be present with all of it, the more I can rescue and recover and strengthen my own personal power, so that the things that I consciously want, I can manifest. And I've been doing this over and over and over again in my own life. I was in a job that I hated, and I was just, you know, living paycheck to paycheck and just feeling really stuck in that for a long time. And as I started incorporating shadow work and cacao and meditation and all these other things into my being, I literally just started breaking reality. And, you know, my car died. And then I manifested a free car. Like, you know, I was at a shitty job, and all of a sudden I had this, you know, perfect opportunity opened up once I stopped running away from the shittiness of the job, and like how I didn't like my coworkers, or how I didn't like my narcissistic bosses. Once I was able to stop running away from that, which I think a lot of us do, fight it, run away from it, numb it out, the ability to have and create the safety within yourself. And you don't have to do everything at once, but to create that safety little by little, to really bring all of that in, so you can actually like mold your reality from here, and not trying to like push it out or run away from it, but then also affect change at the same time. Like that's not how the magic of that works, and that's not how shadow work and shadow integration works. So once you really unlock that piece, it's so much easier to do all of the things that you want to do and manifest the things you want to manifest. So with that, I do want to share that I have a monthly cacao ceremony that is specifically focused on shadow integration, making it orgasmic, making it very sensational in a safe way, bringing the cacao into play, bringing tarot into play, bringing time with yourself, time with a very intimate group of people, and then time with me one-on-one. So three different containers to create this one experience. Over a course of 3 weeks, you're getting attention and guidance and assistance with all of this. awesome. It's just really fucking awesome. It's like just holy days of awesomeness, just like all around. So, and of course, I say that orgasm, again, like this is not about duality of like good or bad. So sometimes things are going to get really intense and really, you know, feel very fucked up. Literally, I lost my purse for the last 3 days and just found it today. I waited until this morning to cancel all my cards. I had my passport in my purse and I was really fucking fucked up about it for a while. And then eventually I was like, you know what? Like, I'm just going to surrender to this sensation. I'm going to surrender to the fact that I'm still alive. I'm the conscious creator of my universe. I own that. I respect that. And I have the ability to be sovereign and make decisions that are going to help me get to where I want to be, to help me even just feel like I'm in a state of well-being, and then bring things out into the world through having like not running away from the situation and not running away from me, shaming myself, judging myself, any of those other things. Yeah. So with that, I'm just going to go ahead and end it right there, and I'm going to post my link to my ceremony. So if you're interested in signing up for that, the last day to sign up is next Friday, the 15th, I believe, but next Friday. And then after that, all the people for this month are going to be locked in, and the sooner you sign up, the sooner you get your cacao as well. So you can wait until the last minute to get your cacao right before the ceremony starts, or you can order and sign up now and I'll send you your cacao now. You can start integrating that into your daily practice. For me, cacao has been the number one thing that I have used to create safety and healing for myself, so that I can actually move into some of the more edgy things, move into processing the trauma around my rape, moving into processing the trauma around living out of my car for a couple of months back, 5 years ago, like moving through those spaces and growing into a different reality that I'm creating with all of my personal power. The more that I integrate my shadows, the more powerful and bigger I become. That is the kind of magic and what I want to offer you guys. So if you have any questions, feel free to message me. I'll probably do another video on it so that everyone's questions can be answered if someone else has that question as well. And is there anything else that I want to talk about or feel like I should say? Or that feels good to say? No, I'm just going to enjoy my cup of cacao, and I wish you all the best. I'll be moving these to Tuesday nights at 6:30. I was doing it on Mondays for a while, but like 6:30 on Tuesdays will actually be better for the schedule. So if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out, and peace.